Before that, for any kind of activities that I've set up in the shelf, it is for each and every skills, it is one minimum of one activity and maximum of 3 activities, and not more than that. That is a count I keep. And from the left, again, he's a lot of into the pretend and play, something like open-ended play is the first part here in the shelf. So this is the kitchen pretend play, and this is the animal pretend and play basket. So this is pretend and play as well as satisfies fine motor skills with all of these open and close, scooping, all of this pretend and play here. Next, as I said, he's into transportation schema, so that you will see a tray over trays and baskets for him to carry to mat and work. So that supports transporting schema. And then we talked about connecting schema. To support his connecting schema, there is stackers and there is building blocks over here. So these two will support his connecting schema mainly. And then there is a rotational schema. For that, there is a basket where there is a ball and there is a vehicle always to support his rotational schema. Plus, there is a separate ball run. This is again to support his the rotational schema as well as the fine motor skills. Next is, I talked about trajectory schema, is where I have ball again to throw, and there was a bubble wrap which is missing as of now, so he tries to throw that, and sometimes he throws the ball of ball run, or he throws these building blocks to explore, or sometimes the pom-poms as well. I'm fine with it as long as he's using the material and understand the sensitivity of it. Next is containment. Again, he picks out like all the things out of the baskets and try to sit inside that. The basket is again to support his containment schema. Now, as I said, he's also into colors and shape. So this activity, fine motor plus color sorting. This activity, shapes and fine motor. This activity is for color, patterns and fine motor activity. Again, so you cannot actually differentiate complete fine motor or complete color. So normally these kind of activities will help him. There will be a fine motor involved because they have to work in hands, right? Especially these kind of big puzzles is something that will help a child going forward in writing. It gives good dexterity skills. Okay, so if you see here, I had 2 of transportation, 2 of connecting schema, 2 to 3 of rotational, and 2 of trajectory, 2 of containment, and then 2 of pretend plays. And I did not talk about the sensory. So normally sensory is something like water play, right? The water play that's going to happen in during the bath time. So that is sensory. And another sensory is kinetic sand or Play-Doh. So these 2 activities for sensory. So as I said, normally it is not more than 3 activities of similar skills that is present in this play area. So that is how I keep the count, right? Minimum of 1 and maximum of 3. So this is how I set up my shelf. And again, the other areas like art, I have a separate for that, depending on, when he was like 15 months, he was just into random scribbling. So there was a piece of paper or a whiteboard and then 1 or 2 marker. Now that he's grown up a little bit, I introduce sometimes paints, and then he has tried to learn about color mixing. He tries to figure out green color by mixing blue and yellow. So I've separately kept 3 colors, 3 primary colors for him to discover secondary colors. So all of that comes into picture. There's a separate art corner, and there is a separate musical corner as well. So I started keeping 1 or 2 instruments as part of weekly rotation or whenever I rotate the shelf. And now, once I saw that he was constantly using the musical instrument, I've kept a separate musical instruments area for him. It was somewhere around 20-21 months. Only after that he gained complete interest in piano and tabla or bongos. So I kept as a separate musical instrument section over here. So this is his music area. Apart from this, the shelves, if you see here, as I said, is only for to satisfy his skills. Oh yes, there is also something that I introduced in past 1 month, that is, this is the only one kind of curriculum that I've introduced for him just 15-20 days back for him, that is Kannada alphabets. I started keeping this when I observed that he was trying to ask me by pointing out the alphabets in the Kannada books. And since there is no much difference in sounds as well as alphabets, I thought it is easy to introduce, and that's where this one came into picture. Apart from this, there is no strict curriculum as such. Again, the separate plant, and there is a time learning. You can refer to the time learning structure in my story highlights. And to respect his work, I have stuck this artwork on the wall. So this is how I observe him. I make a note of his schema, sensitive period, and I refer to the activity guide, and then I arrange these. I pick 1 to 3 activities and then I arrange in the shelf. So in the next video, I'm going to show you in detail, as in what I observe for this week, and how, keeping that observation, how I'm changing the materials in the shelf. So that will give you a more idea on, in depth about what the observation was all about, and why I changed the items, and what I changed. What are the materials that I replaced with existing materials. Until then, bye bye.